So I answer my phone and I'm like, hello. And then the girl on the phone, she's like, who is this? And I was like, he got my phone 10 times with his homeboys on the phone. He's sharing his screen and then she saw my number and she screenshotted it. And that's how she said she found my number. And then I want to go back to when we was on the phone playing Roblox. So he was like, oh yeah, I was at work all day. No boy, you was working on Zoe all day. Before this video even gets started, I just want to say, real big. Hey babes, it's me, Marisha, and I'm back again with another video on my channel. And in today's video, I am not doing my normal content at all. I'm not doing my normal content. I am doing kind of a mukbang because I am hungry and I need to eat, but I'm also doing a story time. I'm doing a story time on the time I got cheated on. I'm not gonna specify what time in my life this was. It was a time in high school, is all I'll say. Before we get started with today's video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Know that me, Marisha, loves you, and let's get into today's video. I'm gonna introduce the characters. We're gonna call my ex Sloth. We're gonna call his homeboy Pumpkin. We're gonna call his other homeboy Twig. We're gonna call the girl he cheated on me with Zoe. We're gonna call my homegirl Queen. We're gonna call my other homegirl Michelle. Okay, so Sloth has an ex. Sloth's ex's name is Kai, and Kai has a best friend named Trevor. When I originally said this, it was like so jumbled up, so I just reset it. And we're gonna call this girl in my class Jaden. All those people are gonna come up at some point in the story, and I'll like reiterate who is who when I bring them up. Okay. Me and Sloth met. Okay, actually I met Sloth. I don't know if Sloth even remembers this, but me and Sloth met in middle school. We met in middle school. Wasn't even really friends for real. It was just, oh, he's in my class, oh, she's in my class, that's just some girl, that's just some boy type of stuff. So he slid up on my story. He followed me. He slid up on my story. In high school, by the way, I didn't really make that clear. He slid up in my story in high school. And he was like, oh, I messed with your YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, thank you. I replied, thank you. And then I went on his page and I was like, oh, that's Sloth. Oh my gosh. He went to my high school, but I didn't talk to him. I knew he went to my high school, and I knew he used to date Kai because I used to know Kai. There's two Kais in my school, so we were friends because of that Kai, but it wasn't like, oh, I need to follow girl code because of her. It wasn't like that. It's a difference between a friendship and having an associate, and she was definitely an associate. Plus, we hadn't talked in like years, so it was really no reason for me to sit here and be like, well, I don't know if I can talk to him. When I was friends with the other Kai, I would hear like that Sloth was like controlling and that he made Kai cut Kai off, and that I also heard that he was manipulative. He was like, do you go to da-da-da-da, my school's name? I was like, yeah, I go to da-da-da-da. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, do you? He was like, yeah, but I don't be seeing you. And I was like, oh, okay, I got unnoticed a lot and stuff like that. He was like, man, H, nah, you cute AF. I would have seen you. I would have remembered if I saw you. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then I was like, you look good too. He was like, thank you. We should FaceTime and get to know each other. And I was like, okay, cool. First little FaceTime, it was cool. He had his camera on. I did not have my camera on. I'm not the type to keep my camera on, because my Wi-Fi is bad, and that's just gonna make the FaceTime bad. Got off the phone at like 2 a.m. And then I saw him at school the next morning. And then we were still texting. He was like, text me in the morning, text me when you wake up. So like that, I texted him. Okay, him saying text me in the morning is actually a very important part, because throughout our whole relationship, he did not want to text first. He only texted first when he thought he was gonna get something from me. That's the only time he texted first. He never wanted to text me first. And then I was like, so are you ever gonna text me first? Like, I don't know, like first 3 nights we was on the phone. And he was like, yeah, like he got annoyed. He got really annoyed. He got annoyed as soon as I asked him to text me first. Like, so yeah, I saw him. He was like, what's up? He was with Pumpkin. So he was like, what's up? And I was like, hey. I texted him and I was just like, oh, now you see me in real life, stuff like that. It was just a good little kiki session. It was good for the first 3 days. It was good for the first 3 days. And then he left me on the liver for like 3 days. That's what it was. He left me on the liver for like 3 days, and he texted me on a Saturday. Now I'm already texting my homegirl Queen, and I'm just like, how you ghost me and we not even, nothing too serious yet. So from that day forward, me and Sloth did not text every day, because I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna text her first. And then he was just like, oh, I don't be on my phone like that, just making excuses for himself. And then he started talking about how he has this consistent thyroid issue and how he's sick and he be tired, he be sleep, he be doing all this, he be doing all that. Now at first I was eating it up. I was like, oh, okay, he's sick. Why he's sick? One random day, how I ended up meeting his girlfriend. It kind of sounded like I said meeting his girlfriend, but I meant to say being his girlfriend. How I ended up becoming his girlfriend. That's what I'm explaining to you right now, because it kind of sounded like how I ended up meeting his girlfriend. No, how I ended up becoming his girlfriend. That's what I'm trying to say right now. It was one random day. He called me and he was like, we were just on the phone like all night, and he was like, so you trying to be my girl? I was like, yeah, standards was so low, because me now, I'm not settling. You gotta at least ask me in person. It was still the inconsistent. It was still, we wasn't texting every day. It was still, and I know you probably like, girl, it was obvious that he was talking to someone else, but y'all don't understand. He wouldn't even come to school every day. He would literally just be like, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm tired. And me, I'm a really nice person. So if you're telling me, oh, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm not gonna, you're giving me an excuse. And like, I know it's excuse after excuse and it's but so many excuses you're supposed to take. But me, if you keep giving me a consistent excuse and I'm seeing like evidence that that excuse might be true, I'm not gonna sit here and just bash you. So our school had this little after school event. It was a play. I was asking Sloth if he wanted to go with me, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna go, He was like, we should chill before that. And then at one point he was like, do you even really still want to go? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I do. What else would you want to do? And he was like, I want to crack. And I was like, first of all, when he said I want to crack, I was just like, I had to look it up on Urban Dictionary, because I don't get down like that. And I was like, no, Amari Shaw don't get down like that. Speaking of my name being Amari Shaw, Sloth literally used to call me Amari Sia, because that's how he thought you pronounced it. S-H-A-H. And if you're like me, sweet and innocent, and you don't know what crack means, it's like, yeah. I was like, I kind of already bought my ticket to the play. Let's just go to the play. And he was like, my love language is physical touch, and yeah, that's what I do. That's what I like to do. He said that his love language was physical touch, and that was what he liked to do. But he also said he'd never done it with anybody before, which I just find so hard to believe. And I say I find that hard to believe because it's such a contradicting statement. How is that your love language? How do you know that's your love language if you've never done it before? Like, that makes no sense. Like, I was like, I don't want us to be strictly sexual. I actually want to build something with you. And he was like, I want to build something with you too. And I just kind of dodged it. I was like, he wasn't consistent enough for me to be like, no. And I was too young and I just didn't know him, and it just was a no. I also want to mention that we did not go to the play. He canceled because his dog allegedly died and he was sick. First it was that he was sick, and then his dog died. So it was like in the morning he was like, oh, I'm sick. And then I was like, oh, I'm really sorry we didn't get to go to the play. And he's like, oh, my dog died. So are you sick or did your dog die? Or did both happen? So yeah, we were in our little on and off little relationship. Not talking every day, super inconsistent. But it was like when we did talk, that's when I found the happiness in it. Pumpkin knew about me, because whenever I would walk past them and Sloth wouldn't see me because he was always on his phone, probably texting whoever. Texting his whole following list, because honestly his whole following list looked like an all-girls school. Let's really clock it. So one day we were talking, and then I was like, so why you be texting me back so slow? And he was like, well, I just be on my phone scrolling through TikTok on my phone. I do not disturb. You don't be doing that? And I was like, no, I don't. And he was like, you probably be texting your H's. And I was like, you're the only person. This is when we were still talking. I was like, you're the only person I talked to. And he was like, for real? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh. And I was like, do you talk to someone else? And he was like, like, obviously lying. Pumpkin would be like, hey, that's your girl. Yeah. He'd be like, hey, look at, yeah. And then he'd be like, oh, what's up? Like, stuff like that. When you're all on again, off again situation, everything is cool until around my birthday. When they a cheater, a player, or they don't mess with you for real, your birthday is when they always gonna mess up. We just having fun on my birthday. We talking on my birthday. We having a good time on my birthday. My birthday is actually when a lot of people found out about us because we was hugged up in the hallway on my birthday, but I didn't get anything for my birthday from him. I wasn't expecting anything for my birthday from him. I don't know why. The standards were so low. But he did ask me what I wanted, and he didn't give me anything, which was okay because, like, we were young, but, like, I didn't go to school the day after my birthday because I just wasn't feeling it. And I had, the day before my birthday was a lot. Everybody was talking to me. It was too much. And I have but so much social battery. So I took a little break from school. I texted him the day after my birthday. I was like, hey, how are you? Because everything was good on my birthday. We was talking the whole day on my birthday. And then 2 days after my birthday, he was like, I texted him, hey, and he didn't respond. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. But it's weird, but it's not unheard of for him. It's not unheard of for him. So I was just like, okay, he just didn't text me back. I'll see him when I see him, right? Because that's literally how our relationship was. The bar was so low because he would always just like manipulate me into being like, oh, I'm sick. Oh, I have this going on. I have that going on. I'm sorry, Amari. I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, so I see him because I got to school late that day, the 2 days after my birthday. So I got to school late. And then I saw him and I was like, hey. And he was sitting on a couch because our school has couches. So I was like, oh, hey. And it was lunchtime. So I was like, hey. So I sat up next to him and he was on his phone. He was on his phone. Like, you were on your phone, but you couldn't text your girl back. I used to settle for a conversation with this man. I don't get it either, but. So, this is Sloth. This is Sloth. And this is me, right? So I come and sit down. I'm like, hey. He like, what's up? So he has his phone in his hand, right? And I sit down and he like. And I'm just like. So I was like, how are you? And then he was like, I'm good. And I was like, good are you? And it was just literally me talking to a brick wall for 5 minutes. And I was like, so are you okay? He's like. Now, I understand that sometimes people go through things where they just want to be left alone, even from their partners, which is cool. But this was like a constant thing from him. Like, we would have a good day, and then the next day would just be bad. And then he was on his phone like, So I was like, I'm the problem. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to stand on that then. So now I went downstairs and I texted him. I texted him in the video, like the original video. I just paraphrased it. I'm going to read y'all exactly what I said. I was like, so I'm not going to lie. I like you and I want this to keep going. But sometimes it doesn't feel like you want the same. I'm fully committed to this. And sometimes you're so inconsistent. If you lost feelings or just simply don't want this anymore, please let me know because I'll leave you alone. But please don't keep stringing me along if you don't want this anymore. Right? I'm finna tell y'all what he says. I sent that on a Friday. This man responded Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Now, me looking from the outside in and not actually being in this relationship no more, I could have been told me I had a feeling I was getting cheated on. But I wasn't strong enough in the moment to be getting cheated on because life was already lifing. And then I was like, I cannot accept the fact that I'm getting cheated on. So I just kept ignoring it. Like, I'm not stupid. I knew. I just didn't want it. I didn't have confirmation, but I had that gut feeling. Okay, so we gotta change the scenery because we just gotta change the scenery. You wanna believe your partner. You want to believe your partner. So I just ignored every single red flag. So Sunday morning, 2 a.m., he texted me and he was like, no, it's nothing like that. A situation happened and my mood was very, very thrown off for the past few days and nothing has changed between me and you. And I'm just like, okay, because you know, the second he gives me an excuse, I'm just like, okay. So I was like, it's okay, baby. I know that now, but you need to communicate with me. You can't just shut down on me and blah, 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 blah. Just like tell him it's okay. And I was like, are you okay now though? And he's like, yeah, I'm straight, but I don't want a relationship no more. So I was like, oh. And right then and there, that should have been the breaking point. That should have been the never messing with him again. Because if a man, if any partner in general, if any partner breaks up with you because you communicate how you feel, go. Like, so after he sent his little, yeah, I'm straight but I don't want this no more, I was just like, you could have said that from jump, but okay, cool. And I left it at that. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll leave you alone. I left it at that. We didn't talk for a whole week. My homegirl Queen was telling me, like, girl, you could do better. My homegirl Michelle was telling me, girl, you could do better. Forget that. Everybody was saying, forget that man. Everybody was saying, forget that man, forget that man, forget that man. So it was a week later, and I finally was feeling a little bit better. I was like, I'm gonna put a fit on today. So I put a cute little outfit on. I looked cute, and I purposely walked by his class because I was not over the relationship yet. I was not over the relationship yet. I was like, oh, I'm gonna walk past his class, but I look cute. Like, I wanted to be seen by him, and my plan worked. He texted me after like a week of no contact, and he was like, you look good today. And I was like, oh, thank you. Bar was so low because why did you knew you looked good that day, Books. So he was like, you're welcome, how have you been? And I was like, oh, I've been good, how about you? And then he was like, oh, I've been straight, just thinking about you. And I was like, I actually was not like, I was too hyped to get this man that had done nothing for me back. But yeah, basically, I'm gonna fast forward this because I'm pausing too much. And he was like, yeah, I'm in straight, just thinking about you. And I was like, you don't miss me for real, a little eye roll emoji. And he was like, and what if I did? And I was like, then we need to talk it out because it ended kind of crazy. And then we got on the phone. And mind you, like, this whole week he been staring at me like he wanted to say something. But he know how to say something in person type of person. He like an internet thug. He like an internet warrior. He'll say what he got to say over the phone. But in person, he gonna be we was on the phone till like 1 a.m. and he was like trying to explain to me what happened. I was like, I'm mad at you. Like, no, that was weird of you. And he's like, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. The same stuff every man says when he wants his girl back. I'm sorry, baby, I was just going through it. You know, I was just going through it. It won't ever happen again, ever. I really do apologize. That was wrong of me. That was really wrong of me. Basically, he was saying him and his friends, Pumpkin and Twig, were him and Pumpkin and Twig. It was like a whole situation going on with the friend group, and they was going through it, and he was just taking it out on me for whatever reason. Same stuff every man says when he wants his girl back. It doesn't mean nothing, y'all. I promise you, it don't mean nothing.
That shit don't mean nothing.
I fell for the okie doke. And I was like, it's okay, baby. Just don't do it again. No, I was standing on business, though. I was like, no, you can't do that to me. I wouldn't say standing on business. I would say tiptoeing on business, actually. Yeah. You can't just keep ending the relationship anytime you feel like ending a relationship and da-da-da-da. And he was just like, okay, I understand. He was just literally telling me what I wanted to hear. And so we got back together. And it was cool. We was seeing each other. We was hugging up. We was hugged up. We was booed up for like 2 more days. That's it. Just 2. And then he started doing the same stuff again. He started disappearing again. He started being distant again. He started leaving me undelivered again. So then I was just sad about it. And I went over to my homegirl Queen in class because there was nothing to do in class. So I started talking to her about it. And shout out to my ELA class. I'm not gonna say from which year, but shout out to my ELA class because y'all really helped me out that day. I know. Okay, so this is actually where Jaden comes into play. So I went over to, because it was like a random day. We didn't have no work. It was like the end of the school year or whatever. We didn't have no work. So I went over to Queen and I was just like, Queen, I was just venting to her about slop. And then this one guy, which is Jaden's best friend, he came over. Jaden is the girl in my class. She just said something really funny. That's why she has a name. That's literally it. So her best friend came over and he was trying to give you advice from a man's perspective. And he was like, I'm not gonna lie. If I was in his shoes and I was doing that to a girl, it just means I don't mess with her no more. Or I'm talking to someone else. And I was like, I already knew that in my head, but it's just like I didn't want to believe it. So then eventually Jaden, she came over, and it wasn't like it was like top secret information that we were together, because like people knew. Even Trevor knew. Trevor found out on my birthday because like I said, we were hugged up. Trevor is Kai's best friend. Kai is his ex-girlfriend. Trevor is Kai's best friend. He knew too. But Trevor had already warned me. Trevor was just like, what did Trevor say? Trevor was like, he's not worth it. I'm going to let you know right now. And I was like, what does that mean? And then he never told me what it meant. But he was just like, I'm just going to let you know right now. He's not worth it. He's not worth it. He's not worth it. And I was like, what did that? He left me on a cliffhanger. I'm over here talking to Jaden, Queen, and then Jaden's best friend. But then the whole class came and surrounded us. And then Jaden was like, you really let Sloth do that to you? And then I was like, yeah, what do you mean? And she was like, him? Really? And then Queen was just like, you know what she means. And I knew what she meant. Because so she was like, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. But she was basically saying Sloth isn't cute.
Then everybody told me that man was not worth it. Everybody told me he's not T at all. And I was just like, that's my man, you man. So then the whole class came over and they was like, yeah, we already knew y'all together, y'all be messing with each other and stuff like that, because we be seeing y'all hugged up. And I was just like me at the moment, I did not spread my business. I hadn't popped out with this man or nothing.
And it was real unfortunate, because for that many people to like, well, I wouldn't say they cared, but it was like they obviously did care a little bit, because like it was like a big circle around me talking about the relationship. But it was like for that many people to know and like to actually want to talk about it with me, like they literally asked me like how it happened. They were asking me about the relationship and stuff, and for it to be like this bad and manipulative of a relationship, that's kind of just unfortunate. Like,
but yeah, they was just all like, I was just explaining the situation to Queen, and they was trying to give me advice too, and I was just like, well, thanks guys. Everybody was like, you gotta go though, because this is not worth it. Like, so I was just like, this isn't going nowhere. So I tried to cut him off. I was like, yeah,
Sloth, I'd be lying if I said I didn't really like you, and I show you that every day, but you don't do the same for me. He doesn't. You go hours and sometimes days without talking to me, and it just makes me feel unwanted, and it takes a toll on me in general. I was so excited when you came back into my life, when we stopped talking for a week and we got back together, because I thought things would get better, but they haven't. I tried very hard to be understanding of your schedule and what you have going on outside of me, but it takes 5 seconds to return a text, and that's all I asked for. I was really patient with you, but you treat me like you don't mess with me for real. You make me feel undervalued, and I don't deserve that, so for that reason, I'm going to go. Now, I did say this, but pay attention to what he says next.
and then he was just like, check. So I was like,
first of all, I asked everybody I know what check meant, and nobody knew. He talks in some Ganglish, because, I forgot to tell y'all, but he said he's in the streets. He said, so yeah, he tried to stand on business and say check, but then when he saw I wasn't responding, he was like,
I love you too, baby. You just gotta give me my space sometimes.
I say all that to say we were still in something. It wasn't officially over, because you said, I love you too, baby. Give me my space.
I sent him a voice message. I was just like, yeah, but you can't be doing that. We need to find that common ground. We need to find out like where we work, because you don't like to talk a lot and I do. And it's just like, I'm sorry for tripping out on your phone. I was apologizing for his inconsistencies. So we got on the phone like a week later. So we got on the phone a week later and we was playing Roblox. And then he asked me for a photo dump the next morning, because he's like, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, stuff like that. Did he call me tomorrow?
No.
Did he call me tomorrow, chat? No, he did not call me tomorrow. And it was the next week. This is how I found out he was cheating on me. I was minding my business. I was downstairs editing a video, and my phone was on Do Not Disturb, actually. And I get a call from this unsaved number. I get a call from this unknown number. It's from the northeast area of where I stay. So I was like, let me just answer it, because it doesn't say scam likely. If a number ever doesn't say scam likely, I'm going to answer it, because like, who is this, you know? So I answer my phone, and I'm like, hello? And then the girl on the phone, she's like, who is this? And I was like, you calling my phone? And I was like, who is this? Because baby, you calling me. So she was like, oh, my name is Zoe. And she was like, do you know somebody named Sloth? And I was like, yeah, I know Sloth. That's my man. I was like, how do you know Sloth? And she was like, we're supposed to be talking. And then she was like, how long have y'all been, a thing? And I was like, for like almost 3 months. And she was like, I was like, how long have y'all been talking? And she was like, oh, for like, since like May 24th. And it was like June or something. So it was like...
It was June 15th, which means they had been talking for 2 weeks. And the girl had the audacity to call my phone. She was delusional enough to call my phone after 2 weeks.
I was like, oh, okay.
I never really like super duper reacted to the situation. I was just like, because it was like I already knew. I just needed the confirmation. It was just funny how I got the confirmation. Like,
she was like, I can't believe this, bro. I was having dreams about this. I literally had a dream that he was cheating, and I called him. I was on the phone with him a few nights ago, and now I see why you don't want to FaceTime me more Sloth, because you're on the phone with Zoe. I was like, should we confront him? And she's like, yeah, we should. And then I was just gonna make a little group chat with the 3 numbers and be like, hey, you weird, and block him. But no, she called him. She called Sloth, and then she added me to the call.
And then Sloth was like, cut, who is this? And she was like, you know who that is. And then he's like, no. No. Got caught up so bad. And then I was like, this is Amari. And he was like, he ain't say nothing. And she was like, she's telling me y'all been together for a few months, Sloth. Don't play, you know who that is. And then I was like, yeah, you know who this is. I have screenshots to prove that you know who this is. And he was like, and he hung up.
How she got my number, actually, because me and Sloth, we kind of got into it about this before. Because I was like, why isn't my number saved in your phone? And he was like, oh, I don't save nobody's number for real. I don't text nobody for real. I'm going to save it right now. And then my number still wasn't saved because the girl, she said she saw my number because he was sharing his screen, because that's what he loved to do. He loved to show you these funny videos that are just not funny at all, because he's not a funny guy. He was sharing his screen, and then she saw my number and she screenshotted it, and that's how she said she found my number. And then she was like, my number not saved either, girl, don't feel bad. And I was like, but you're not his girl. She is in a group chat. Yeah, this is so serious, bro. So Zoe is in a group chat with Sloth, Pumpkin, and Twig. The only time they really get on the phone for real is Sloth is on the phone with Pumpkin and Twig, and he adds her to the call. He does not FaceTime that girl by herself.
She literally told me, yeah, he never really FaceTimes me one-on-one. It's always with the group chat. And I was like,
you was doing all this over this man. What Drake said, he don't even treat you that good, girl. Why are you smiling? Why are you calling my phone?
So after he hung up the phone because he was caught, she then called the group chat and she explained the situation to the group chat with his homeboys in it, by the way. So I don't know what validation she thought she was gonna get from that, but she called the group chat and Twig was just like, you green for adding that girl to the call? Why would you add that girl to the call? And she was like, I don't think I'm green. I was just trying to figure out what was going on and da-da-da-da-da.
But she said she also called Pumpkin, and Pumpkin was like,
nah, my boy cut her off when he started talking to you. First of all, Sloth never cut me off. Anytime we stopped talking, it was because of me, but okay. She just keeps bothering him. That's why she was in his recent messages. Zoe, why would you believe anything Pumpkin says? Because Pumpkin owes loyalty to Sloth, not to the girl Sloth is. So of course he's gonna tell you what you want to hear. Like, what?
He talking about some, no, you need to just give me my space sometimes, baby. I love you. Mari don't be bothering that boy. That boy bothering Mari. Because even when we wasn't talking for a week, he was like, we need to go out to dinner, babe, and stuff like that. So it's just like,
okay, so now I'm gonna read my text thread with her to y'all. I was like, hey girl, thanks for letting me know. You didn't deserve that, neither did I, and I hope you're doing okay. And she was like, it's cool, but his friend said he isn't playing me. That he then said that when he met me, he had like cut you off or something. I was like, that's not true. He was just on the phone. She was like, wait, when? I was like, a few days ago. She's like, did he tell y'all that y'all were still talking? I don't know why she said talking. We weren't just talking. And I was like, yes, he was still calling me baby and everything. And then she was like, OMFG, I'm like done with him. And I was like, you still on the phone with them? Because I just want some tea, because I knew I was going to make a story time about this at some point. Oh, she was like, no, his friend is annoying. And I was like, I'm going to call you back, because I just wanted to know how she met him. And then we were on the phone, and she was just tucking around, and she was like, yeah, I called Twig, and da-da-da-da. So I never found out how she met him. But the day after, like, the last day of school, which is when we were into that argument, he had went out to this party. So I'm going to assume that's where they met. And then she was like, oh, I want to be done with him, but I can't. And I was like, good luck, wish y'all well. And then she sent me this screenshot, and it was a screenshot of their text. Let me read it to y'all. So she was like, if you want to talk to me, call me not with Twig. And he was like, join, he on mute. And then she's like, I'm not joining regardless if he's on mute. This is really between me and you, not me, you and Twig. And then she was like, I told Pumpkin that I didn't even want to be in the same call as him. When I get home, I'll FaceTime me. And then he was like, I'm not gonna lie, you can say no and I'm talking to another woman, or you can go and them women can stay there. That's just me being 100. And when I read that, I was like, all attachment I just had to you just disappeared, because it's like, you don't respect women.
I had already told her, because we got back on the phone, I was like, oh girl, you don't have to worry about me no more, I'm done. Because honestly, Amari has been wanting to leave for a minute, but I just kept getting reattached. But I've been wanting to be like, duh. He called my phone like 10 times, and he was like, he got my phone 10 times with his homeboys on the phone. He never tried no stuff like that before, so I feel like he was trying to call my phone just to get me to like want to talk to him again, or like try to convince me like, oh, she's crazy or something like that. I don't know. But my mom was like, no, shut your phone off. Do not answer that call. So I shut my phone off, and he was still calling me. So he was like, join the call real quick. He texted me, join the call real quick. And I was like, I'm good. I don't want to bother you no more, because at that point she had already told me that Pumpkin said I'd be bothering him. So he was like, I wasn't asking you to. Like, boy, didn't you just say join the call? Didn't you?
That's what I heard.
After that, I was still texting Zoe, because Zoe just kept texting my phone. And she was just like, well, I can't let him go. And I was like, okay, well, I wish y'all the best. And that's when she sent me that screenshot. And I was like, who does he think he is? And she's like, I don't know, but this hurts. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry that you're hurt. But she was just acting crazy. And I was like, I hope you're okay. And she was like,
I just remembered that I'm an actress, so I'm just going to pretend that I'm not hurt.
I'm an actress, so I'm just going to pretend I'm not hurt. And she didn't do all that. We was texting, but still. And I was like, hey, whatever works. And I was like, I hope you're okay. And then she sent something else, but then I just heard the message and I carried on with my day. So 2 days later, so mind you, Sloth is blocked on my phone. And I had my homegirl texted him. She sent him a paragraph.
My homegirl Michelle said, B, you a cheating A, low life A bum. Think you got the right to cheat on people when you ugly AF? These girls only with you because they feel bad for your ugly, depressed A. Your dirty A can't even dress, looking like Ferb from Phineas and Ferb. You miserable A, B. That's why you always going through something now, because you a effing low life. Go get a life and stop effing with people, you bum. I love you, boo.
Send it. And then she sent it and she blocked him. And I sent I called him a clown and I blocked him. So 2 days after, Zoe gonna text me, has Sloth ever been to your house? And I'm just like, is she still talking to me? I thought I was gonna leave her on delivered because I didn't know my red receipts were on, but I went to open the message and then I left her on red by accident. I wasn't trying to leave her on red, but it is what it is. So she texted me again 2 days later talking about something, hey, are you okay? And I was just like, shut up.
Now, normally in this position, I wouldn't necessarily not text the girl back, but I only didn't text her back because she kind of came at me with aggression, and she was kind of like, oh, she was acting like that was her man and like they weren't just talking and like it hadn't just been 2 weeks. And she came at me with aggression, and I didn't really respect that, because as a woman, if you're coming to me as a woman, she wasn't coming to me as a woman. I think she was trying to come to me as a, oh, back off my man, but he wasn't really your man. So yeah, it was how she came at me. And then she was trying to, like, when she really found out that, oh, he really isn't nothing for real, she's trying to come in. I think she was trying to make a friend, but no, babes, that's not how that works. So that's the only reason I did not respond to her. It was because, and my mom was like, don't respond to her anyways, like, it's not like y'all can ever really be friends. And I was like, that's very true. So yeah, that's why I didn't respond to her. It wasn't out of pettiness or nothing.
The way she was so attached to this man after 2 weeks, it was just like they had to have been, because there's no way you're this attached, because he likes to get down. And that's why another reason I feel like he was so distant towards me is because I don't get down like that. I'm not finna just, what have you done for me besides talk to me for me to just, what you?
And even if he had done something for me, I just wasn't ready for that at that point in my life.
And then I want to go back to when we was on the phone playing Roblox. So he was like, oh yeah, I was at work all day. No boy, you was working on Zoe all day. Everybody warned me against it, even Kai's best friend, because me and Kai's best friend, we're kind of cool. Kai's best friend's name is Trevor. Me and Trevor, we're cool. Like, that's, yeah, me and Trevor are cool. He was like, girl, I'm gonna warn you now, he is not worth it. He is not worth it. And at the time, like, I'm thinking, you know, when you're actually in a relationship, you're like, man, forget what everybody has to say. Everybody's just like hating on my relationship. My friends was like, no. My mama was like, no. My sister was like, no. Everybody was like, no. And then he ended up cheating on me. So
alright, y'all, so I am on my iPad, so excuse the quality, but this is the end of the story time. I know it was kind of long, but like, I felt like every single thing that was included needed to be included, or the story would not have made sense.
it wouldn't have made no sense at all.
I'm gonna do that when you filming. I'm gonna do that when you filming a video. Like, I really... That's all for today's video. I will be back on Sunday. Sunday is the start of back to school season. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye guys. Amari Sia signing out.